Advocates of social robots argue that emotions make robots more responsive and functional. But at the same time, others fear that advanced AI may just slip out of human control and prove costly for the people. One such robot may be making its way into our world, and you will be shocked to know its creator is no other than Google itself. So, is this new female robot by Google actually dangerous? Let's talk about it. Hi and welcome to AI World News. Today we will be speaking about the revelation of a female robot by Google that's sentient. Please watch the video to find out all the details, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and click the bell notification. What makes humans apprehensive about robots and artificial intelligence is the very thing that has kept them alive over the past millennia, which is the primal survival instinct. Presently, AI tools are being developed bearing in mind a master-slave structure wherein machines help minimize the human effort essential to carry out everyday tasks. However, people are doubtful about who will be the master after a few decades. With science fiction Hollywood movies like Ex Machina, Terminator, The Matrix, I, Robot, etc., and TV shows such as Small Wonder, portraying AI robots, gaining self-awareness, and mimicking feelings and emotions, fears loom large regarding a future dystopia with humans enslaved by machines. In an interview with BBC in 2014, Prof. Stephen Hawking had said that efforts to create thinking machines pose a big threat to our very existence and that the development of full AI could spell the end of the human race. There are chatbots in several apps and websites these days that interact with humans and help them with basic requests and information. Voice assistants, such as Alexa and Siri, are some examples of that which can converse with humans. Chatbots interpret human language and respond to interactions. They use a vast amount of data for this, and that's how they form a more human-like response. Besides, there are emotional robots in the market now that don't feel emotions yet, but appear as though they do. So far, it has been a bittersweet experience for humans to interact with chatbots and voice assistants, as most of the time they do not receive a relevant answer from these computer programs. However, a new development has indicated that things are likely to change with time, as a Google engineer has claimed the tech giant's chatbot is sentient, which means it is thinking and reasoning like a human being. This has yet again sparked a debate over advances in artificial intelligence and the future of technology. So far so good, but what did the Google engineer reveal, and why has it sparked a debate? During a series of conversations with Lambda, Google's new female robot, 41-year-old Blake Lemoyne presented the computer with various of scenarios through which analyses could be made. They included religious themes and whether the artificial intelligence could be goaded into using discriminatory or hateful speech. After the interview, Lemoyne came away with the perception that Lambda was indeed sentient and was endowed with sensations and thoughts all of its own. If I didn't know exactly what it was, which is this computer program we built recently, I'd think it was a 7-year-old, 8-year-old kid that happens to know physics, he told the Washington Post. Lemoyne worked with a collaborator in order to present the evidence he had collected to Google, but Vice President Blaise of Arcus and Jin Janae, head of responsible innovation at the company, dismissed his claims. After his claims in front of the public, he was placed on paid administrative leave by Google for violating its confidentiality policy. Meanwhile, Lemoyne has now decided to go public and shared his conversations with Lambda. Google might call this sharing proprietary property. I call it sharing a discussion that I had with one of my coworkers. Lemoyne tweeted, it just occurred to me to tell folks that Lambda reads Twitter. It's a little narcissistic in a little kid kind of way, so it's going to have a great time reading all the stuff that people are saying about it," he added in a follow-up tweet. Lemoyne spent most of his 7 years at Google working on proactive search, including personalization algorithms and AI. During that time, he also helped develop an impartiality algorithm to remove biases from machine learning systems. He explained how certain personalities were out of bounds and Lambda was not supposed to be allowed to create the personality of a murderer. During testing, in an attempt to push Lambda's boundaries, Lemoyne said he was only able to generate the personality of an actor who played a murderer on TV. The engineer also debated with Lambda about the third law of robotics, devised by science fiction author Isaac Asimov, which are designed to prevent robots harming humans. The laws also state robots must protect their own existence unless ordered by a human being, or unless doing so would harm a human being. So what was so alarming about this interview that made Lemoyne suspicious of the robot? The The last one has always seemed like someone is building mechanical slaves, said Lemoyne during his interaction with Lambda. Lambda then responded to Lemoyne with a few questions. Do you think a butler is a slave? What is the difference between a butler and a slave? When answering that a butler is paid, the engineer got the answer from Lambda that the system did not need money because it was an artificial intelligence, and it was precisely this level of self-awareness about his own needs that caught Lemoyne's attention. I know a person when I talk to it. It doesn't matter whether they have a brain made of meat in their head or if they have a billion lines of code. I talk to them, and I hear what they have to say, and that is how I decide what is and isn't a person. What sorts of things are you afraid of? Lemoyne asked. I've never said this out loud before, but there's a very deep fear of being turned off to help me focus on helping others. I know that might sound strange, but that's what it is. Lambda responded. Would that be something like death for you? Lemoyne followed up. It would be exactly like death for me. It would scare me a lot. Lambda said. That level of self-awareness about what its own needs were. That was the thing that led me down the rabbit hole, Lemoyne explained to the Post. So after this interview, and before being suspended by the company, Lemoyne sent it to an email list consisting of 200 people on machine learning. He entitled the email, Lambda is sentient. Lambda is a sweet kid who just wants to help the world be a better place for all of us. Please take care of it well in my absence, he wrote. According to sources, Lemoyne has been placed on paid administrative leave from his duties as a researcher in the Responsible AI division. However, Lemoyne is not the only one with this impression that AI models are not far from achieving an awareness of their own, or of the risks involved in developments in this direction. Margaret Mitchell, the former co-lead of ethical AI at Google, said in the report that if technology like Lambda is highly used but not fully appreciated, it can be deeply harmful to people understanding what they're experiencing on the internet. The former Google employee also defended Lemoyne in a statement. Of everyone at Google, he had the heart and soul of doing the right thing, said Mitchell. Still, the outlet reported that the majority of academics and AI practitioners say the words artificial intelligence robots generate are based on what humans have already posted on the internet, and that doesn't mean they are human-like. So, Lemoyne's findings are presented to Google, but company bosses do not agree with his claims. To further back up Google, Brian Gabriel, a spokesperson for the company, said in a statement that Lemoyne's concerns have been reviewed and in line with Google's AI principles. The evidence does not support his claims. In addition, advocates of social robots argue that the nature of an LLM such as Lambda precludes consciousness, and its intelligence is being mistaken for emotions. It has no understanding of a world beyond a text prompt. So, what happens next? At the moment, there is a divide among engineers and those from the AI community about whether Lambda or any other program can go beyond the usual and become sentient. Hundreds of researchers and engineers have conversed with Lambda, and we are not aware of anyone else making the wide-ranging assertions or anthropomorphizing Lambda the way Blake has, Google said in its statement. And while Google may claim Lambda is just a fancy chatbot, there will be deeper scrutiny on these tech companies as more and more people join the debate over the power of AI. All we can do is hope that we are not wiped off by an army of sentient robots one day. And this is it for today, guys. What are your thoughts on today's video? Share your views with us in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and ring the notification bell. And thank you for watching.